Guys, it's Keith Trades. Today is August 20th and a pretty decent Tuesday. Price action wise, very sloppy, very slow, but overall not too bad. We ended up going 3 for 4 in the Discord. I went 3 for 4 myself for the fact that I took a trade, but I was not live or it was too fast to alert. But overall, a great day. We were able to capitalize on 44 points on NQ and over 20 points on ES and only a 17-point loss. Right, so 3 for 4, beautiful green day, two green days this week, and continue to keep winning. Right, so coming in for my pre-market plan, very, very simple stuff. Right, I noted that we filled the gap higher, right, and we were traced to a 4-hour. So if we respect and break upside, right, I want to see continuation to 19,902, 19,931, and then a 20,000 break. My short plan is very simple, right? Because we've met narrative higher, if we break down on the 550, right, we're going to reprice lower to where unfilled imbalances and discounted yesterday's range, right? So let's get into that structure number one. So my long targets were very simple. 19,901 is just this 1 hour high here. And then obviously the pre-market high would be my second target, right? We were trailing inside this 1 hour fair value gap pre-market, right? My short target were 19,955, right, into the 1 hour. Boom. Then obviously my my internal target was just a low here, but that just got instantly destroyed. Right, so here's a structure for the day, and then here's a pre-market plan. There's the targets, right? So coming in the open, we're gonna go over my loss first because it was the first trade that I took on a loss. Totally fine, right? So we ended up sliding down, right, taking out sell side, right, all these lows into the 1 hour. And we found immediate buying through this high, right? And we ended up getting near equal highs, right? I wanted the entry at the 5 minute. I was waiting for respect to come in on the 1 minute, where I was looking for some sort of fair value gap to play, and then ended up being up here. Yes, I probably could have taken this, but I stayed patient, and then we displaced. ES ended up running this high, so I wanted to see NQ do the same, right, with a 5 minute fair value gap play, right? So once I saw us break and we reached for the high, and ES had already ran that high, I said, you know what, I'll give it a stab long, and then I got instantly stopped out for about a 17-point loss, right? Totally fine, right? Again, my mistake here was I should have been disciplined, right? Markets have not been clean nor efficient, right? Although this setup is okay as we are equal highing, for the fact that ES already took this, that is a bearish SMT, and that is what ended up happening, right? Bearish SMT, and then we ran straight down lower, right? This exact trade I was not able to capitalize on as there just wasn't a clean setup, but YK was able to call this one out, which I'll get over at the end because it's an ES trade, but so be it. We deliver lower, so I'm down 17 points on day. Again, this is a very small size. Why? Because I was looking for a quick pop to the high. If we did not do it, I know I'm wrong. If we didn't touch this and buy up immediately, I already knew I was wrong, right? But I was going to give it a shot. And then we slid all the way down into the 19,755, right? My short target into the 1 hour. That ended up hitting pretty perfectly. Boom. So now I said, okay, we can start to see narrative to run higher, right? Very simple setup. We swept out this low. Boom. Broke structure. Right, but I wasn't really willing to play inside this choppy area, so I was waiting for more direction, right? We ended up inversing this 5 minute bearish. So once we inverse the 5 minute bearish and I start to see market not find selling effort, we end up holding this 1 minute. I said this, okay, this can be a fake breakdown model. If we inverse this, we're likely to run higher. It's exactly what I did. Inverse fair value gap entry, close above here. Tap back in, my long was here, my stop was at the wick low. Target's very simple. I targeted, boom, internal high. Bam. End up catching, I think, 23 points. Proof of fill, everything proof of fills are all on IG, but I think I caught around 23 points, right? So 17-point loss on very, very small size. I added some more contracts on a little bit higher quality setup, and we had a nice delivery. Caught 20, 22 or 23 points, so that's a beautiful trade. Right, moving on. So now we're slightly green. And how did we extend that green? With an absolute beautiful setup. Right, so this is our clear continuation short model, and it's very simple. 15-minute time frame, right? So we knew we delivered lower. My narrative for my long was to reprice to the 15-minute fair value gap here, right? So my long trade, I wanted us to see us reprice to the 15. And this is what you get when you see inefficient action. Instead of delivering here, we sloppy, slide around, and then we go to it, right? Unfortunately, right, I scaled some here. I left a runner to run this high. It got about for break even on my trade because, right, my narrative was to run to the 15. And that ended up happening, but it would have messed you around too much. My stop was here. If I would have held the full target, I would have got stopped out probably. But totally fine, right? Took a nice dub here. And then what do we do here? Swing low, swing high. Let's flip this actually. Boom. Market extension move lower. We've retraced to discount and we've hit OTE 61.8 retracement. So now I said if we find a sell model, we can start to run lower. Right? So I wasn't on at the time, but I checked my phone for some reason and I saw this setup happening, so I hopped right on. Right? So let's go to the 5 minute again. Right? Very, very iffy because we are trading inside this 5 minute and this 5 minute lower. But here is my narrative here, right? So we already inversed this, and then we did what? Form a bearish. So I said, if we respect this bearish, I'm willing to give it a shot for the fact that, right, we're overall on a bearish day and market needs to reprice. Targets, very simple. Low here, and then the equal lows here. Right, last run, I didn't have enough contracts, but last runner would be to fill the 1 hour and then a new low. Let's get into our entry model. Right, so initial sweep. Right, I did not take this fair value gap. If you took this fair value gap, you might have got stopped out, or, right, I probably would have put myself at 620, so I would have been fine. But even if you got stopped out, it's not a bad trade. This is my A+ setup. But obviously, understanding choppy markets, I would not put my stop at the wick high. I would give it a lot more room to breathe. That's why I would say I'd put it on the 620s, or even just at the 5 minute itself. But I didn't end up taking that because I did not like this little area. And then we end up manipulating higher. Boom. And we have a bullish here. Right when we closed below, I got an 804 entry. I got entries here and 807. Bam. It's my short entry. And I placed my stop at the wick high. Right? So I'm risking 13 points. PT1 ends up hitting for 24. PT2 hits for 34. This full trade take profit is posted on IG. All the proof of fills, everything's there to prove that we take this trade. But this is a setup I took, right? And I wasn't live at the time. And then we ended up hopping onto the PM session, and I traded this last win live, right? Understanding that we've delivered to the low, right? But why was I comfortable with this long model? SMT, right? Keep in mind of this 740 and 10 o'clock. Higher low. If we go to ES, right? 740 to 10 o'clock. 740, 10 o'clock. What do we see? Lower low. So ES put a new low on the day, while NQ failed to deliver. So we have bullish SMT. And then what is my narrative point? My narrative point is very simple. If we find a buy model, right, we can see market rebalance to the 15-minute fair value gap. Remove some of this stuff. Right, if we find a buy model, we can see market price to 15-minute fair value up here. So that was my target. Check proof of fills. I got filled at the 19,823. So that's just the high to a price of the 15 because we have SST, because we found a buy model. I was comfortable taking that setup. So what are my points of confluence to say the longs are ready? Inverse 5 minute. We end up inversing this 5 minute, and we also respected the bullish 5. Although we did not have a break of structure, I like this because of the added SMT, right? Once I saw us respect 5 minute bullish, and then we broke structure above, and then we closed here at 745, right? We inverse closed above. So now I have a 5 minute inverse stacked on a bullish. I end up taking my entry at 19,801. Again, proof of fills are on EG. Just stop at the lows, right? And my target was 23s. Boom. Ended up capitalizing on 22 points. Great quality. Took a 17-point loss. And then I went to what? A 21-point win, and then a 34-point win, and then a 22-point win. Not the greatest risk to reward. Why? Because the market just didn't offer that much. Right? Market just did not offer that much. And market was very slow. It's a 20-minute trade. I had to stick to my edge and let this thing deliver. Very beautiful stuff. And lastly, YK's call out was an absolute monster. Let's get right into that. At 7:10 a.m., he said 5-minute inverse, short, ES, 2-point stop. This is at 7:10. Just look at this. Just look at this here, guys. This is the candle we called to go short. Short here, around here, 2-point stop. Market absolutely rips lower. First few candles, 11 points. He secured about 15, I think. But overall, you guys can see the proofs in the pudding. 7:10 a.m. 5-minute inverse short. He tagged everyone. ES, 2-point stop. And then literally the same time he said that, it went break even because it just delivered. Here it is, guys. 7:10 candle. Entry. Short. Stop above the highs. And market fucking rips. That's beautiful stuff. But I know this is a longer review. A lot of trades to get over. But that is August 20th review. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one.